Banky special.
Yeah.
Pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man. My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts. Shout out to everybody out there on Team Banky Pound, man. I appreciate the love, man. I appreciate the support. We rolling, man, in these 33 years of prison stories, man, and these travels that we on. I appreciate all the love, man, all the support. I only have 2 prisons left. We went to Nottoway. We eventually made parole at Nottoway, and then we went to Greensville. So I'm gonna pick up on that in a minute. But in the meantime, I wanted to take a little break because, I was talking to somebody the other day and a story came up and I wanted to share that story with y'all because, like I said, so much stuff in my head and usually I don't think about it until someone brings it up. When I give y'all a story, it's already something that's in my head. Whatever comes up when I start talking, whatever I remember. But in conversation, some other things will pop up in my head and I'll be trying to get it out while it's fresh on my mind. So I figured this story would be something that y'all would want to hear. But before we get into that, man, I just want to thank everybody out there for all the support. 2 years out here free, man. My liberation has been beautiful. Y'all been a big part of that. I want to keep it rolling. We want to keep on growing and growing and growing. So, tell a friend to tell a friend, man, to come on over here, man, and join this movement, as well as that pure deliciousness over there where we whipping up that good food, so y'all make sure y'all spread the word. Also like to give a big shout out, man, to ECSU, man, first college that got me out there to speak to them, man. Big love, man, to my brother, man, Sean Walker, man, the coach, who got me out there, man, spoke at HBCU. It was a beautiful situation. I'm looking to do more of that in the future. So anybody out there trying to get this good positive energy, man, y'all reach out to me and we can get something done, especially if it's positive energy. Also, man, I want to give a big shout out, man, to Chrissy Bus, man, for this Hito, man, this cleanser, man, that's helping me get this skin right. I'm out here on the street, man. I got to take care of myself. Ain't getting no younger. So big love to Chrissy Bus, man, and the whole Bus family, man, for showing love as well. Big shout out to Alan Williams for putting that connection together. I appreciate you, brother. Let's get into it, man. This is a crazy one, man. This is a crazy story right here. This right here happened, man, when I was on Sussex 2. And, I had been there a while. I had, told y'all a couple of stories about Sussex 2, but I can remember, man, when I was in this certain block and I got moved in the cell and I was going to be the barber. So I get moved in the cell by myself, wasn't nobody in the cell. So I'm in the cell for a couple of days by myself in a new block, man. They moved me there to cut hair, so it's all good. I know a lot of people in there and everything. But at the same time, during this time, I had a lot going on, man. I had a lot going on. I was in survival mode, and when I say survival mode is you doing what you got to do in there to survive, to make ends meet. And when you in there, man, sad to say, but the best way to, really generate any money or to accumulate any money is the drug game. You know what I'm saying? The drug game. But the drug game would not be possible if it wasn't for the help of the COs, But the drug game was deep on there, man. Like on any other penitentiary, man, it's so easy to get drugs and it's so much in demand. So many dudes want to get high, man, that, it blows my mind sometimes, but that's just how some people, escape. Some people, cope with what they're going through. And a lot of them, just bought that habit from off the street. So when you're in penitentiary, man, you can get that frequently but not as frequently as you can on the street. So it's in high demand because when it's there, it's never going to be a lot. It's never going to be enough for everybody who want to indulge. So it's like, you know, they fighting to get it. They fighting to get it. So whoever got it, you know, that's demand. You're going to make the money. You put your prices on it. The prices is always twice as high as it is on the street. The quantity is always twice as small. So it's just it's a real quick way to make money in there. It's a dangerous way because you got to deal with all the foolishness, all the larceny, all the hate that comes with it. But at the same time, you are going to be able to make a profit that you wouldn't be able to make while you're in prison because, like I say, money is limited in there, very limited in there. If you got people sending you money in there, it helps. It helps a whole lot, a great deal. But at the same time, things in there cost so much, they overprice us for everything. You know, everything you could think of. Since I got out here, I could really, really, truly see the difference in what things cost in there versus out here. It's just amazing, man. You might can go to the store right now and get like a oodle noodle for like 20 cents or 16, 17 cents or something like that. You know, in there we paying almost like 50 cents for that, you know. And then they got like things like that I used to eat in there. I used to eat a lot of fish products because, you know, they didn't have no real meat in there and they definitely ain't had nothing going on in the kitchen. So, you know, you might get a can of oysters, man, it's just this big, but it's going to be like $3.40. So if you get 2 of them, I mean, if you get 10 of them, you know, you talking about, you know, $34, you know, $34 for just, and you could probably eat all of them at one time and don't even really get full because that's just how small it is. So like I say, it takes some money to survive in prison or to try to stay healthy or try to eat where you can keep up your weight and keep up your strength. So, you know, like I say, people on the street, they working real jobs. They going to work, you know, 9 to 5, whatever they doing, you know, overtime, busting their butt out here. And for them to take their hard-earned money and send it to you, and then you getting it, and you're not getting the whole total value of what they send you, man. It's rough, man. So like I say, the drug game came into effect in there, man, and you know, I most definitely had indulged in it, you know, throughout the years. And it's something that I never did on the street. I never got into drugs, still have never done drugs, not even smoked weed, and I tell all y'all that all the time, but it just wasn't my thing. And I never sold drugs on the street, but in penitentiary, you know what I'm saying, I have sold drugs because, like I say, it was a hustle in there, man, that put you ahead of the game. So at this time, you know, I had found me, you know, a little connect where I had, you know, little drugs coming in every now and then, and I had, you know, weed was what was coming in. That was always a great seller in the penitentiary. You could get so much money off of weed, man. It's like everybody and their mama smoke weed, you know, and then you're giving them so little for the price that you're getting. Is just like a big come up instantly, you know what I'm saying, if you got weed. If you get an ounce of weed in there, man, you know, I don't know what it costs on the street during them times, man. From my understanding, it would probably be about $80, $95 at the time that I was getting it. But if you get that in there, you're going to make in excess of $1,000. You see? So you're talking about, you know, a great come up. So anyway, like I say, the weed, but then you get this crack, man. And like I told you, I ain't knew nothing about crack. You know, I got locked up in 87. You know, that stuff wasn't really flowing around me where I was at on the street. I wasn't really hip to it. The first time I really heard about crack was Lynn Byers, you know, the basketball player that ended up, you know, dying from using crack or whatever. But I told y'all when I was in the penitentiary, the first time I came across crack was when I had the pimp Celly, you know, Hector. So Hector introduced the crack on the compound, and I told y'all how that situation went. If y'all don't remember, go back and watch, you know, the Hector video, you know, my Celly was a pimp. Go back and watch that because that was when I realized the power of crack, man, how it just turned people out, man, and they do anything, man. They put their life on the line for that stuff, man. They take chances. They borrow money and they go get things from people that they cannot pay. And in prison, that is a definitely no, period, because you can't run, you can't hide. The only thing you can do is isolate yourself and go and check in. If you go check in and you gotta have it to get high, then you're not gonna be able to get high. And also you're gonna put that stain on your name. So once you put that stain on your name in prison, you're never going to outrun that. You're never going to get away from that. No matter what compound you go on, no matter where you come out at, people going to know you checked in, you know what I'm saying, so on and so forth. So that's why it's such a dangerous thing to get something from somebody in there knowing that you can't pay, because you know you're going to have to deal with that person, you know, one way or another. And the thing about it is, with the crack, man, them dudes would take them chances, man. They would take them chances with their life. They'll take that chance on getting beat down, getting that Bethlehem put in them, because the addiction is so high and so strong, it overpowers their common sense. You see what I'm saying? So crack was always something that I didn't really want to touch when it came into prison, but if somebody owed me some money and this is what they had, and or they wanted to make a trade, or a CO said that's all he could get his hands on and bring in, then of course I took it and I used it. And you know, like I say, you usually got an astronomical amount of money in there, astronomical, you know, by penitentiary standards. You know what I'm saying? You know, when you can stack up money on your books, you know, couple of $100, couple of thousands of dollars, you ahead of the game in the penitentiary, man. You know, it may not go so far out here, which I've learned, you know, a couple of $1,000s ain't gonna go that far out here. But in the penitentiary, a couple of $1,000s would take you through, you know, a long time in the penitentiary. A couple of $1,000s take you through a year in penitentiary, you know, without a doubt. You know, you can eat well, you can be comfortable, you have food in your cell, and that's about as comfortable as you're gonna get in prison. That's about as comfortable as you're going to get in prison, being able to have food in your box, to be able to eat whenever you want to eat, that don't have to worry about going to the kitchen, don't have to worry about making the commissary. And if you got that, that's about as comfortable as you're going to get in prison. You still going to have to deal with all the foolishness, all the craziness, all this psychotic stuff going on around you, but you can always know you can go in your cell and you ain't have to be hungry. Because there's a lot of dudes in prison that be hungry, man, because the way they feed us in there is just atrocious, you know. And if you ain't got nobody sending you money in and spending this money going in the commissary, and like I say, it's not going to go far. You know, you can go to the store in the commissary and spend $100 and come back and you can, you know, you can have a bag this big. You know, you can have a bag this big. So that, it just don't go far in there. So like I say, when you can get that type of come up, then it's a good thing, man. And it'll put you in a situation where that's one less thing you got to worry about, which is a major thing, because everybody in there want to eat. You know what I'm saying? Physically eat, you know. So that right there, man, is major in the penitentiary. But anyway, like I said, during this time, man, I got in there, I'm cutting hair, I'm doing my thing, you know what I'm saying? And they gonna move another barber in my cell, because they want to keep the barbers together, they keep the house workers together. They try to house you, at this time on Sussex, they try to house you in the same cell as the person that does the same job as you do. And each block had 2 barbers, you know, most of the time. Sometimes you end up having 1 barber, you got to cut everybody's hair because another dude has to have a license to cut hair. So anyway, I was in there and I was waiting for them to put a barber in there. So they put the barber in there, man. After I'm in there for a couple of weeks, man, they put the barber in there, man. And it's a big, tall, you know, dark-skinned dude. I knew him by name, and I seen him on the compound, and I seen him on the basketball court because he was tall. He played basketball, probably was about 6'3", 6'4", dark-skinned, as Biggie would say, black and ugly as ever. You know what I'm saying? However, he was a good dude, man. As far as I knew at the time, he had a good personality. We you know, talked, you know what I'm saying? We talked about sports and this, that, and the third. He was a real big sports fan. So, you know, like I say, I feel the vibe out on anybody when they first come in the cell. So when he first came in, I felt this vibe. We got to kicking and talking, da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, man, I seen you on the court before. I know who you is. All the, you know what I'm saying, little pleasantries or whatever. And they called him Black Hand. You know what I'm saying? They called him the Black Hand. I don't know why. I asked him about it before. He just said that's one of his nicknames. Now, this video right here, I don't know. Black Hand may be out right now. I don't think he had as much time as I did. He may be out. He may be somewhere. If he is, I hope he's doing good. I hope he's doing well. I know if he might see this video, he might get mad because I'm not going to say his real name. You know what I'm saying? I'm using his nickname. But everybody in the penitentiary that's been around him probably know him from his nickname. But he know what I'm saying is true. So like I say, I always try to bring y'all the truth. So hopefully he don't get mad. You know it's all love, but you know I'm telling the truth. But anyway, man, like he was my Celly. And, you know, he cut hair. We was rotating, cutting the hair of the dudes in the block or whatnot. And he was a pretty good barber as well. You know, and like I say, man, he got along with everybody. But also, he had the barber job and he had the job outside on the yard. He had a runner's job, which means he picked up trash out there on the yard. This is a good job to have. Even though it sounds like you're a trash man, it's a good job to have if you shaking and baking and moving around in the penitentiary. Because the dudes that do that, they can go from building to building. They can be out there when other buildings is coming out. So if something had to be passed, something had to be moved, they can, you know, grab it, take it from building to building, take it from person to person. And if you was able to do that, you know, you're going to get paid for that. You get paid for everything in the penitentiary because it ain't nothing in there free. Ain't nobody going to give you nothing. Ain't nobody going to give you no hand up. Ain't nobody going to help you. You're going to have to get everything from the rough. So if you got that job right there, it's a good job because someone may need something from another building that they can't get to or they can't see that person, but the person that work on the yard can make that transaction. So he had that job, which was a good thing. Now, being he in the cell with me and I'm getting these drugs in and he worked the yard, it just worked out perfect because now I want to get an understanding with him. Look, man, I be doing this, I be doing that, man. You know, you can facilitate this, you can move this stuff or whatever. I got you. I'm going to look out for you. But we have to have an understanding that if I put these drugs in your hand, you responsible for them, number one. And number two, my name don't come up in the equation at all. Even if you get caught with them, you got to be willing to wait for them. I ain't got nothing to do with it. My name should not never come up. If you willing to do that, yeah, you can make some money. So this is the agreement that we came upon. This was the understanding. But I let him know emphatically, and I think he knew or had an idea who I was because, like I said, he'd been on the comp. I think he was on the compound before I got on there. So I let him know what the count was. So he said, okay, I let him know now. I would just want you to understand this. I do not do no playing with no money, man. If you can't handle us, don't get involved. If you can't hold your tongue, don't get involved because this stuff is serious. Because if you get caught with these drugs in the penitentiary, man, you in big trouble. You understand? I ain't want no parts of that. But at the same time, I understand I'm putting myself in this position, but these are the risks you have to take if you're trying to get what you need. And I was trying to get what I need in prison. That's all I was trying to get, enough to take some weight off of people sending me money into prison, take some weight off of me, take some pressure off of me, because you're dealing with all these other things. That's one thing you do not want to be worried about is how you're going to eat or if you're going to eat. So this was my justification for doing what I was doing. Do I understand what I was doing was risky? Do I understand what I was doing could set me back? Do I understand what I was doing was wrong? Absolutely. But at this point in my life, this was a risk that I was willing to take. But at the same time, I was feeling like I was thinking that I was outthinking the whole situation. Well, I'm going to get them. I got access to get the drugs, but I'm going to put them in somebody else's hands, you know, where it can eliminate me from the equation. My name ain't going to be involved. Don't bring my name up. Don't say it's mine. I ain't got nothing to do with it. You responsible for it. If they come in and say and find it, it's yours. All of this is understood, but I'm paying my weight. I'm going to pay you to take this weight. But at the same time, you're going to have to take this weight if it comes down to it. We need to get this understood before we even start doing business. This was our understanding. He said he was cool with it. You know what I'm saying? He had less time than me or less risk than me, or he was willing to take more risk than me. I was never willing to take the risk of, even though I may get some drugs to try to sell them, I never would take the risk of trying to sell them myself. You know, I would always get them and put them in somebody else's hands and pay them to get rid of it, pay them to hand to give it to somebody. I ain't never want nobody to say I gave them no drugs or they bought no drugs from me, because I know when push come to shove, people put the pressure on you, that's what'll happen. So I ain't never want to take them type of risks, and I ain't never want my name to be associated with drugs, although it was because dudes run their mouth, and especially when they get around dudes like they might see Black Hand or somebody else. If they see me always associating with somebody and them people always had drugs, the infrastructure, the dudes, the convicts, the inmates, they know more or less that, oh yeah, that's Banky stuff. But some of them would even be so bold to ask me, man, look, man, no Black Hand got them Jones, but they kind of small, man. Can you tighten them Jones up? And I'd be looking at them like, tighten what up? I ain't got nothing to do with what Black Hand. Man, come on, Bank, man. We know that's your stuff. It ain't nothing mine, bro. And don't be going around saying that. It ain't none of that, man. The only time someone would know for certain that someone was working, with some stuff that I was giving was when that money won't right and the person who was giving it to them, it's their responsibility to really go straighten. But if they do go straightening, it's a possibility that they go to jail. And if they go to jail, then I'm still stuck holding a bunch of drugs or something in my cell, in my possession, that I'm going to have to get rid of because I'm not going to hold it. You see what I'm saying? So I would intervene sometime like that, depending on who it was. I would step to a person if he owed some money and he was really not trying to pay it, or he was taking too long to pay somebody, or he kept giving them the game and running around. I would just go to him myself, personally, one-on-one, catch him by themselves. And I have done that before, and sometimes it's got physical, because dude's like, man, you ain't give me nothing. I don't owe you nothing. I'd be like, look, where that money at, man, you ain't give me nothing, man. I don't owe you nothing, man. I owe such, or I owe black ain't no. Where is the money? You see what I'm saying? So don't worry about that. I'm asking you right now where the money. You got to get the money today, And I have been in those situations. I remember one situation with black hand. The only situation that I had to step to somebody with black hand was dude owed him some money, and it was a nice piece of money, man. And I used to always tell him, don't give nobody nothing, one person. No, because in prison, you more or less, you're going to have to do credit. If you don't take commissary, this, that, or the third, sometimes you're going to have to do credit. People say, the street, mean they get their people on the street to send some money to some people that on the street, and them people will in turn send the money on your books. Or they get somebody on the street to send money directly to your books, which was really not a good thing, because then that'd be a direct pipeline to saying that somebody's sending you some money for some drugs, especially if the dude people is on his visiting list or on his mailing list, and they know this dude is a known drug addict, and his people sending you money. That's, whatever they call a conspiracy, and they say, oh no, you got this from it, and you going down. So that's really never a good thing to do, but people do it because, like I say, the desperation to have money in there is crazy, man, because like I say, they feeding you like a dog, and everything in the commissary costs, price gouging like I don't know what. So like I said, man, it's all a game in there, man, to survive. It's all a game to survive, but that game can get deadly because people take chances, people lie, people pull larceny, people pull stunts, and you're going to have to straighten that, because if you don't straighten it, if this dude take your money and don't pay you, then the next dude ain't going to pay you, then the next dude ain't going to pay you, and then there ain't no need for you to have nothing because ain't nobody going to pay you. So you're going to have to put your hands on somebody, you're going to have to lay the hurt on somebody in order for people to respect what you're doing and know that it's going to be consequences if they don't pay this money. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm on this dude one time, though, and I'm about it. The money was about $400. For $400, for $400, you gonna get that money, or you gonna get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. $400 in the penitentiary is a lot of money. So for $400, you gonna get that money. So I'm on this dude, and I'm telling him, man, where the money, and he just adamant about, he don't owe me nothing. This was his whole, he not saying that he don't owe Black Hand, he's saying he don't owe me. But I'm saying you owe though, right? He say, but I don't owe you, but you owe, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm in the cell with him. I'm telling you, I'm the one stepping to you. I'm letting you know you gonna pay this money, and you gonna pay it today. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you got to go rob somebody, you gonna have to come up with this money today. So he was like, no, man, no. And I just couldn't even take it. I just got up on him. I got in his face. When I got in his face, he put his hand on my chest like he was trying to get me away from him because I was that close up on him. So as soon as he touched me in the chest, I just butt him. Boom! And when I butt him, he fell back in the cell. And when he fell back, I hit him with a two-piece. Bam! Bam! And drove him down to the ground. I grabbed him, and I'm choking him, and he trying to kick me up off of him, using his feet, trying to get me up off of him. So he got my body pushing away, but I'm still got my hands on him, and I'm letting him know, if you don't have that money, man, by the end of the count, bro, get up out here. If you come up out here after the count, I'm going to give you the business. And I said, you can go get your buddies, you can grab your knife, you can do whatever you want to do, but I'm letting you know, if you come up out this door, because it was almost count time, if you come up out here after count and you ain't got this money, bro, you getting up out here. So I push up off of him and I back up. He jump up on the set. I thought he was getting ready to grab something because he got to looking around. So I'm like, boom, I'm right back up on him. I'm like, what's up? He like, man, yeah, okay, just go and get out. So I said, I done told you what the count is, bro. So I go back in the cell. I'm back in the cell with Black Hand. Now I'm mad at Black Hand because I'm saying, you dealing with these dudes and this supposed to be your job. This is what I'm paying you for. You supposed to be on this dude. You don't let him tell you some stories and keep, stringing you along. Oh, he gonna pay, man, he just this. Oh, no, man, all of them is game. That's game. You know what I'm saying? But Black Hand was trying to be more friendly with people, and they didn't fear him enough to where they feel that they can try him. You see what I'm saying? Some dudes may look at the situation as, okay, he in there with bank it's probably bank stuff. So they probably got that little, knowledge in their head. But some dudes don't care. They're going to do like this cat did. Man, you ain't give me nothing. I don't owe you nothing. Now you do. You do, and you going to pay me one way or another. You know what I'm saying? So this is all the game you're going to deal with when you dealing with this drug game, man. It's a dangerous game on the street, let alone in the penitentiary. But in the penitentiary is even, to me, you know what I'm saying, it's more dangerous because it's a confined environment and you can't get away unless you go to jail. You got to deal with these people. So for you to get something from somebody right there in their presence and then tell them you're not going to pay them, you got to be a bold dude, man, or you either, willing to die because you're going to get killed behind that. Because if you let somebody take something from you in prison, that's it. You'll never be respected. You'll never be respected. You'll be dealing with these issues the rest of your sentence. So you're going to have to handle these situations whenever they occur, and they're going to occur a lot when you're dealing with drugs because these dudes would do anything to get them. They in there, they sad, they miserable, they in a state of depression, and now this is a relief for them. This is what they use for their relief, and theirs available. But even though they ain't got the money for it, man, I'm going to take my shot. And that's what they do, man. So, like I said, I had those little small altercations, man. I call that a small altercation because the dude came out after count. And when he came out after count, he went to somebody, hollered at them. I don't know if he lied to them or he gonna owe them. I don't care if you gotta owe somebody else and you don't pay them. That's somebody else you're gonna have to deal with. But if you don't pay me, you're gonna have to deal with me. So he went to somebody, he got like $300 and he gave the Black Hand, and he told Black Hand that he was gonna have $100 sent to his books. As soon as he can get on the phone, he's gonna get his people to send $100. So he was gonna pay the money. But he gave, 90% of it. He gave $300. I let the thing slide. But I got on Black Hand, I let him know, look, bro, you gonna have to be on top of this situation. I'm not gonna be giving you this money and then I'm going handling the beef myself because now I'm putting myself at risk. Now I'm putting myself at exposure because he probably go tell somebody else, yeah, man, me and Banky got into it because, I ain't get Black Hand the money, so it's Banky drugs move. And then my name out there. So if that's the case, I might as well be selling it myself. That was my whole rationale to him. That was me trying to explain to him, bro, you got to get this stuff in order, man. That's what I'm doing for you. But like I say, he was an asset because he could move so much. If you had something, and when I had something, or a CO boy be something, I had this stuff in my possession, I'm going to give it to him, but I want to get rid of it as soon as possible. You know what I'm saying? I don't even like it in the cell, even though if it's in the cell and it's on him and he going to take blame for it, I still don't even want to be associated with it. I don't want them to come in my cell and find something and he stand up and take the weight like he's supposed to take the weight, and then they still say, oh, well, he was in the cell with me. So now they looking at me funny. I didn't want them looking at me at all. You see what I'm saying? So that was the dynamics of the situation. That's how it went. So he was moving around. He was doing this thing, man. But he was acting strange. He was acting real strange all the time. He always be nervous. And like I said, I had never really been around people that's really using the drugs. So I didn't know all of their attributes, all of their traits of how they using it. If I did, I would have been able to peep what I was able to peep later on sooner. But man, I can remember, man, I was up in there. We was in the cell. It was a nighttime count. So we in for the night. Get up next morning for breakfast. So it had to be about 2 o'clock in the morning, man. At least about 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm sitting up in there and I could smell something. The smell was coming through my nose when I was asleep. But when you sleep, you think you might be dreaming. It was just like something that just smelled, real like, I couldn't even explain the smell, but it wasn't resonating with me. So I can remember just rolling over in my sleep, and I rolled over and I pulled the cover from off my head and I looked. And when I look, in our cell, you have a toilet, and it's a steel toilet. and it has a sink on top, and it comes down to the toilet, the buttons or whatever. But when you stand up on the top part, up on the wall is an air vent, it's an air duct. So I roll over and I look, man, and man, I see Black Hand up in there, standing on the toilet with a soda can in his hand and a lighter, lighting the bottom of the soda can, just huffing. And when I rolled over, I said, man, what in it you doing, man? He looked over at me, and it was like, man, it was like a kid caught in the candy store. He was like, oh, man, I'm sorry, Bank, man. I ain't want you to find out this way, man. I'm sorry. I was like, man, what, you smoking crack, man? I said, man, oh, no, bro. No. What did you do? He was like, man, I'm sorry, man. And then it all came, you know what I'm saying, to me. This is why sometimes you telling me this dude taking this long with the money, this dude taking that, you smoking. He in the cell with me, he's selling this stuff all the time, he's smoking himself. He's smoking himself, man. This joint blew my mind, man. I'm like, man, Black Hand, man, you smoking crack. He was like, man, I know, man, I be trying to beat it, man, but I said, bro, and it just, the only thing that could come to my head was over and over again, like, bro, you smoking crack.
The Banky special.
Yeah.
Pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man.
My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know. And I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.